quiet town, just like hundreds of other small towns all across America. A town just like yours. But it was here, on October 31st, 1963. No motive, no warning, no provocation, just senseless death. I met him 15 years ago. I thought there was hope, that he could be reached. But what I met was not a child. No emotion. Perhaps not even human. 15 years later, he returned home. But what happened that night was only the beginning. It wasn't just a killing spree, it was a reckoning.
Whoa, calm down, okay?
He was going to me. Come on, we have to go.
No.
You can't stop him. You can't reason with him. You can't kill the boogeyman.
Hey guys, Joel here, and welcome back to an episode. Oh man, like that trailer, I'm just really disappointed. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm actually not surprised because I kind of knew this already. A lot of people were talking about it on Twitter and everything like that when they had first announced that there was going to be no more updates for the game. They was done with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they was moving on to the next project. And a lot of people, the next game to kill, pretty much, I should say, the next IP, next franchise to butcher and shit like that. So yeah, and here it is, Halloween. Everyone's been saying it, and here we have it, guys. There we got it. There we have it. I mean, it's like, I'm just really like mad. Like, I mean, it's good and all because I always wanted a Halloween game. Always wanted an online Halloween game and everything, online multiplayer Halloween game to play with friends and all that stuff. Like I love the Halloween series. I do love Michael Myers and everything like that. And he really doesn't have his own game. He's just in that shitty ass Dead by Daylight crap, that woke game now, I should say. We're just throwing people on hooks now and all this garbage. Like that's so dumb. So at least he actually has his own game where he can kill now. He's going to be having his own game, I should say, where he can kill people. But disappointed because, of course, Gun Media is the ones that's going to be working on the game. And also illfonic, which is also the ones that worked on, I believe Friday 13th they worked on with Gun, if I'm not mistaken. And also, what's it called? The other one, Predator Hunting Grounds, which sucked. Oh my god! Like I used to play it back then with my friend, and we didn't like the game. It was alright, but it got so whack and like still so quickly. It was like, yeah, we're done with this game. Another game I heard that they worked on illfonic, that they made was Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I heard about. At the time, I was kind of interested in it, but it wasn't on the PS4, whatever like that. Thank God, because I heard that game was no good, and like they say is filled with microtransactions now and shit like that. So yeah, so good thing I avoided that. Another one, Ghostbusters, was actually on the PS4. I was interested in getting a while back. I think it was like almost 2 years ago, I should say. I was interested in it, but then people say that the game sucks and it was dead or whatever like that. So I never got that either. And I'm like, damn, like all these games from those two devs specifically, and all these games just suck, dead or suck, and everything. So it's just crazy. But Gun Media is the main one I'm talking about, not illfonic. Because a lot of people are saying that, they're saying that, Gun is just only the publishers or whatever like that, and illfonic is the developers. They're going to be making the game. They're going to be in charge of it. They're going to be running the show pretty much. So they can call the shots, whether or not if they're going to kill the game or whatever, like whatever longevity, I should say, for the game, goes pretty much based on them. So, which I understand in some extent, but illfonic also is not that, that great. They're not saints as well, so they have the issues with a lot of the games, like I just mentioned, all those games I just mentioned to you guys and stuff like that. So they're just as no good, I should say. But Gun Media, like those people are crooks, freaking scammers, and I'm not buying shit from them, even with their name, even if they're just publishers, as long as that name is just passed on it, it's like you don't have that trust anymore, because they ruined such a great game, And I mean, yes, you can still play Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because I still played. I was actually playing some of it last night and everything, and I still enjoy the game. But knowing that they abandoned the game and everything, and very soon it's gonna die, is like you just like really upsets you and everything like that, because it was so different. Like there's no other game I can think of. I don't know if you guys know of any, but I can't think of any other online horror multiplayer game where there's more than one killer, going after all the survivors and shit like that. It's the only game I can think of. That's the only game where you have, three family members going after four victims and everything like that. And I like that. I like that formula. It's a lot much better. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's not good because when you're playing with idiots that don't know what the hell they're doing, it's kind of like you have to carry the team or whatever like that. Well, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult when you're playing with all these damn noobs and shit that don't know what they're doing, and it's much easier for the victims to escape because obviously I can't, a veteran like me, I can't be in like a million different places at once. I can't be patrolling here then patrol over here as well. So sometimes yes, it can be an issue with having more than one killer, working together and stuff like that, since it has to be more teamwork, based on that, as opposed to if it's a 1 versus 8 or 1 versus 5 or whatever like that, where you don't have to worry about nobody else. You can't, like pretty much carrying the team. You're doing everything on your own. You're solo, no teamwork, nothing like that you have to worry about. So I understand some ways is a good thing, but I do like this formula of having three killers, going against the survivors and everything like that. And there's no other games that I know of that are like that. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre has something different. It has something more like unique and everything, and something that has never been done because every game I know is just 1 versus 8 or 6 or whatever, or 5 or whatever like that. So I like the formula and everything, and it's such a good game. Like, had a lot of fun with it and everything. And I mean, I used to play Friday the 13th like crazy back then. I love that game so much. It sucks that Gun he got rid of that one too and everything, killed that one completely off because the servers are closed and everything. You can't play it anymore or whatever like that. Before they was doing the peer-to-peer thing and everything for a while, and after that they just officially killed off the game and everything. What was it, last year? I think no, it wasn't last year. I think it was the ending of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, or I think it was or maybe it was the first month of 2024, if I'm not mistaken, in January. I don't remember, but it was fairly recent that they officially killed off the game, whatever like that. But that was the only other game I had a lot of fun in. Like I said, I used to play Dead by Daylight a long time ago. I think the last time I played that game was damn, I want to say maybe in 2022, or was it 2021? Oh, maybe 2020. I don't remember, but it was a long ass time I stopped playing. I think it was back in 2020 or 2021 I had stopped playing it and everything. And at the time, yeah, I was having fun, but I was like, yeah, this game is whack. It's like you just do the same shit, repairing generators and all that shit. If you to kill, you throwing people on hooks. It's like, this is so whack and corny. And on top of that, when they started, like, when they became woke and everything and started putting all this shit in the game with certain flags, I don't really want to talk about it, whatever. Like, that just ruined it for me because I'm like, this is supposed to be a game that everyone should. It's just a game like when you play these type of games, guys. Like you pretty much you're supposed to be kind of like you leave, like you're away from the real world. You're in your own world where you can just relax and be entertained and play these games. No one wants to see this political shit and all these things being thrown in your face. What if you're one of those people who don't want to get into that stuff, politics or whatever, or want to get into all this woke crap that you see on TV or from certain people, friends or family members. You don't want to see that in games too. You want to get away from that stuff. So yeah, and I didn't like that stuff. So that's another reason why I had stopped playing it and everything. And it's crazy. Like I don't like that. And Texas Chainsaw didn't have that stuff, which was great. And also Friday the 13th didn't have that stuff, which was great as well. I'd say that maybe they might have some costume, like little like outfit packs in Texas Chainsaw. And also I remember in Friday the 13th, they made it look a little bit feminine, like some of the outfit packs for the men, whatever like that. Like that some outfit in Texas Chainsaw, like the way how Leland looked, I'm like, yeah, why? Like why? Like come on. But I don't care, but it's not like they was trying to like, do any type of PC shit, this PC role now and everything like that. So that's different, but Texas Chainsaw didn't have that stuff. Friday the 13th didn't have that stuff. So that was a good thing I liked. That's one, I guess you could say one great thing I liked about Gun was that, they wasn't pushing that stuff into these games and everything. They just kept games as games, without trying to have a message or try to be activists and shit like that, like how Dead by Daylight is, and everything. We're trying to be, well, it is, whatever, But it was just such a different game with Texas Chainsaw and everything. It was just so fun to have like 3 versus 4 and everything like that. I just love the formula and everything. It was just so good. So it's gonna suck when they officially abandon it and eventually close the servers and everything once this peer-to-peer thing is done with because that's where they're moving to next with it. But it's just crazy. Like with Gun, they're not these people you can't trust. These people are crooks. They had expensive ass DLC in Texas Chainsaw and it really like just man, they fooled a lot of people. You know, fooled a lot of people, even me. But I didn't buy that much stuff though. I only bought maybe like two things from the, like two DLCs, and it was only things that was on sale. I didn't buy these things when it was regular price. Like hell no, because this shit was like mad expensive, you know. So pretty much it just ripped off everybody and just used that and moved on to the next game, you know, that they could, the next franchise that they're gonna kill, which is Halloween and everything like that. I mean, I can say from it because I know like I'm straight off talking about this other stuff, but everything is pertaining to gun and everything. Well, besides Dead by Daylight, but still, you know, I was talking about like you know these online multiplayer games of today and you know how Texas Chainsaw differentiated from them and everything, and Friday 13th, you know. But with the Halloween trail and everything, like yeah, it looks good. You know, it looks interesting and everything, and it's good that they're gonna have a Halloween game and everything, which is something I always wanted. You know, Michael Myers to have his own game, his own official game, and everything like that. You know, he's actually killing people, not throwing them on hooks. You know, so that's great and all, and it looks good. The trailer was good and everything like that, but because it's by gun, I don't trust it, and I'm not gonna be getting it. So yeah, so that's that. And I don't know if you guys hear my door. That's it's windy because I have the window open. It's like it's crazy. It feel like a fall day today. Like this weather's so weird here. But I'll take it. I'm not complaining. But yeah, but you know, so it was nice to see that he's gonna have his own game and everything. But I'm just not happy with the people who's in charge of it. And also, like I said, I don't trust illfonic at either. You know, so a lot of people was upset. A lot of people saying boycott a gun. A lot of people saying yeah, another game that is gonna die in 1 year, and then they're gonna move on to the next franchise to kill. And a lot of people saying which franchise is next for them to destroy, to kill off or whatever. It was like there was like Nightmare on Elm Street, and I kind of feel like, to me, in my opinion, I feel like the next game they will move on to is Scream. I think they might do that with Ghostface because that's another franchise I love. I love Ghostface. He's one of my favorites. I actually like him over Michael Myers, and then Michael Myers will be second, and then Jason will be third for me. Leatherface, I'm honestly not a fan of him or the movies or whatever, but I like the game and everything, so I guess that's something, right? But you know, but Ghostface, I'm a big fan of him and everything, and I always thought of it like you were like the times when I used to play Dead by Daylight, and then everyone used to play as Ghostface, and I played as him a few times as well. And I always thought to myself like, damn, like why doesn't he have his game yet? You know, like why, you know, Jason had his own game or whatever, so why, how come, you know, there's no Scream online multiplayer games for that? You know, you play as Ghostface and going against survivors and everything like that, where you can actually kill people, do it the right way and everything like that. So I think that might be the next one they might move on to after, you know, they rip off all, you know, these movie fans and everything with this one, and then they're gonna move on to next, because that's what they're doing. They're pretty much targeting the people that they know that's big on, you know, these franchises, you know, love the movies and everything, and also big on online multiplayer horror games and stuff like that, because that's the thing now, you know. And the thing is now, like, a lot of people, a lot of these devs now are trying to like pretty much compete, or pretty much like kick Dead by Daylight off the throne and like become the new like king and everything when it comes to online multiplayer games and online horror multiplayer games and everything. And that's what I want, because I've been saying this for a while now, and I made a few videos. A lot of people have made a few videos on this as well. When a lot of these games come out, and we always say, "Oh, finally we have the Dead by Daylight killer," and it ends up this game dies before, and Dead by Daylight is still up and running, you know. And I want somebody to like topple them. I want to get these freaking people out of here. These damn woke ass activists, garbage people, you know, devs, get them out of here and have a better, you know, online multiplayer game that's actually, you know, a game, you know, and everything, and much more fun to play, where you're actually doing more than repairing generators and throwing people on freaking hooks. Still know how that game is so popular and how, you know, it's still live to this day. I really don't get it. But we need something to get that, like, just freaking destroy them, because it's about time, you know? And that game is like how many years old now, and no other game you telling me can't topple them yet? Like, it's crazy, you know? We had, what's it first? What was the first one I had talked about that I thought was a Dead by Daylight killer after Friday 13th died? Damn, what was that game again? Evil Dead. That was the one. That was the first one that I spoke about the channel, and I was like, yes, I think we finally have the Dead by Daylight killer and everything. And then look what happened to that. Dead. You know, it died off. No one plays that game anymore. I remember they gave it away for free. Damn, I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2023 or maybe 2022 when they gave it away for free for PlayStation Plus and everything like that. So I went on it because I was like, you know, I mean, I haven't played in a long time and everything. Had sold the game already because I was like, this game sucked. I didn't want to go back to it. I was like, since it's free, why not? You know, it's free. download it. If I like it, uninstall it. So I went on. I was curious to see if anybody still played it, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, no one's on the game. I was like, really? Like no one's playing this? I was like, wow. So after I just uninstalled the game, I was like, yeah, this game is completely dead now. And there was the other one after that. Was another one before Texas Chainsaw? I think no, I think it was, yeah. So after Evil Dead, then it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where I said the same thing. Finally, something to compete with Dead by Daylight and finally kill them off or whatever like that, or just keep them down. Where they have the little small little fans or whatever like that that still plays that game, whatever, and then it can be the new king. That's what I wanted, but that didn't happen. So now here we have Halloween. Enter Halloween now. Halloween the game, and it's gonna be the same shit. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna be the same shit. And honestly, guys, just don't buy it. Like I said before, Boycott Gun Media. Even though it's illfonic one charge, I still don't trust it, and I say you guys shouldn't buy it because they should learn from the lessons, and also from what they did was wrong. What they did was wrong, and if we don't buy it, if nobody buys it, then they'll realize, that okay, they admit their mistake, they're sorry for what they did or whatever like that, because obviously they don't give a shit. They moved on or whatever like that. They promised things that they never delivered in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so you guys already know it's not gonna be the same with Halloween the game, So yeah, but hey, it might be not, it may not be that way, from what I'm saying and with everything I'm saying. Maybe it might be different from what I'm saying, and everything like that. But I still believe that you guys shouldn't buy it on day one. I would say maybe even wait like a year to see what's going on with the game or whatever like that. Then you'll know. When a year has passed, you'll know if they're gonna kill the game off and move on to the next franchise or what. That's what I would be doing. I don't even know if it's gonna be on the PS4, to be honest, and everything like that. It might. I feel like it maybe. But if not, I can probably always just play on the Steam Deck or whatever like that. So yeah, it's like I said, I'll wait for a year. So I'm definitely not buying it, boycotting them, whatever. But I'll wait for a year to see if this game is still gonna live. Because after Texas Chainsaw Massacre, after a year, they decided to kill it off. Not even a full 2 years, and it's crazy because around this time, for their anniversary for Texas Chainsaw Massacre's anniversary, then they want to release this trailer for Halloween the game, whatever like that. So I say, guys, don't buy it on day one. Wait for like a year to see what's going on, what's going down with the game. Like check for updates and like any new content or whatever like that, and then go from there. Because I say a year is perfect because you'll know whether or not if they're really serious when it comes to how many updates the game has since it's been out for a year, how much content the game has, and if there's any news mention anything about okay, they already filled their potential or whatever like that. Like the potential has been completed or whatever, all this shit, and move on to the next franchise. Look for all that stuff. So I say in a year, then you can look to see if you want to get the game. But for now, boycott it, don't buy it or whatever like that. Let these people learn their lessons. And also, this is something that I've been talking about for a long time on this channel, a long time, with a lot of these modern stuff now. Like when it comes to games, tech, you name it, all this shit. Everything is just changing, and it's changing for the worse. All these new stuff that they're coming out with is just way more like shittier and like it's just like garbage compared to like older tech, older games. Everything, like I've said this already to myself, and I think I said this to my friend as well. Like we need like a great again slogan for like pretty much everything now. When it comes to games, making games great again. We need to making movies great again, making music great again, making tech great again, like phones and everything like that. Because like companies like, well, I'm not really gonna like, I'm not even gonna mention Apple because I don't really know like everyone that has have those phones. I'm not a fan of them. I hate Samsung as well, but I'm forced to kind of have them. I mean, I could say, but with them, same thing with Samsung and everything, so. It's just like, all these stuff now is just not the same anymore. They're not good like they used to be. And we need these things to be great again and everything like that. And I feel like as long as, we have people out there that just don't really give a shit or just like buy things all willy-nilly or on impulse or buy things just on day one just because or just to have it because they just need it. They're just really just dying to have the next, the newest thing that comes out or whatever, the next thing. Whatever like that, is never gonna change. These devs are always gonna be like this. These people are always gonna continue, ripping us off or whatever like that, and taking more away from us and having us, charging more for these devices and taking more away from us. And you guys are never gonna realize this stuff and gonna continue just throwing your money out there, giving these rich ass evil corporations, developers, all these people, all this money, and it is going to continue doing the same thing until guess what? Until we own nothing, So that's pretty much what they want. Like I said, always, and what a lot of people say online, they want us to own nothing and be happy. And I feel like you guys need to just finally wake up. Wake up and stop being these little dogs for these slaves, pretty much, just slave masters. I mean, and everything. That's what you guys are. But I'm not like that. So I fight these stuff back. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this, like whatever, I don't care, I'll get used to it, whatever. Like those type of people, that mindset, like it's fine, whatever, I'll get used to it, it's whatever. Or it's not that bad, or all this stuff that people say. I'm not that type of person. So I'm more the rebel type. Rebel type. I'm fighting back these stuff. So yeah, like people who's gonna continue just going out and buying these stuff on day one, then you guys are the problem. Like I see this all the time with people I know and people online and whatever, like just go out and rush to buy the newest thing that just released, like just drops. I don't like that at all. Like that is what's wrong with this world right now, and mainly in this country and everything like that. But yeah, and it goes to show a lot of people have money just to waste on things that's not even shouldn't be wasted on. And the same thing what I was thinking about with the Switch too. Like I really wish nobody should have bought that console, because then Nintendo would have realized what they done, the mistakes and whatever like that, and releasing these digital key cards and shit. You got to spend $80 or whatever on, like, people are crazy. Like, that's another company right there just like going on this shit now. And like all these companies are the same now. So it's like I already have no other company to return to. I'm not loyal to anymore. So I used to have my Steam Decks, now, and I still have my old PlayStation consoles and retro and all that stuff. But anyways, I know it's straight off the topic talking about this stuff, but this all ties down into this. If you want games to be good again, and you want like devs like Gun to not be abandoning these games, after a year or whatever, and taking your money, then you guys listen to me, and stop rushing out to buy these things on day one. Stop boycotting everything, and stop just accepting that this is the new normal, or this is just how things are now, like that's not how it is, and everything like that. But yeah, I realized one thing real quick, and I'm gonna end this. I talk long enough that a lot of people, because I've been seeing on Twitter a lot now, and I started to think like, yeah, like I'm one of those people that rejects modernism. I noticed that, and I'm more of a traditionalist. I just noticed that, so I guess you could say that's who I am. But I mean, like I said, some people like the modern stuff. Okay, I understand that, but still you gotta just know what you're doing, and not constantly wasting money on the latest things, and also doing your research on these devs and these companies too, find out more. Because if you just continue to pay for something super expensive or whatever that lacks features, they do remove features for, or whatever like that, they'll continue doing it. So yeah, that's just how I see it. But I mean, it's good to like some modern stuff, but I feel like the modern stuff now is just not the same anymore. And everything, like I said already, like everything after 2019 is this shit now. It's like a whole different world now, and I hate it. But yeah, anyways, guys, so that's it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Halloween the games trailer and everything like that. Like I said, it looks good. It looks like I like it. I like that the graphics, everything looks the style, which I don't really care about graphics anyways, but it looks good. And I like that Michael Myers finally having his own official game, and everything like that. And I also heard there's gonna be a single player mode as well, which is great. So that means it's gonna have a story mode, but it's by them, so I don't trust it, mainly with Gun and everything like that. And I feel like you guys should just boycott it and everything, and just wait for a year, and then we'll come back to it and see what's going on, if it's still alive or not. And also, like I said, how many updates and like how many content they added, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't have much content, whatever like that. Only how many maps they released before they killed the game? Like 4. I was like 4 maps, and that's it. And then there's pretty much variation, the same maps like with this rain now and everything. Like like that's whack and everything like that. And a couple of new killers and victims and all that shit. Like it was just a waste. That was like pretty much a waste of people's money and everything like that, and my money too, because I bought 2 of those killers and everything like that, even though it was cheap. So like I said, I got it on sale. But yeah, I didn't spend on full price. But yeah, but anyway, so let me know what you guys thought of the trailer. Are you guys going to do it? You gonna boycott them or whatever and move on? Or you guys gonna continue, like I said, just following along with what these evil devs tell you what to do, and just continue giving your money while they give you less until you owe nothing, or what? Let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm not here to like really bash people or talk shit about people. I'm just trying to like open people's eyes, to what's going on now when it comes to the modern day era, and with modernism and everything like that. So yeah, and that's that. So I'm not trying to be mean or whatever like that to you people who likes to do these things, but it has to be said. I feel like you guys need to wake up. That's just constantly throwing your money out there, wasting on the next thing, latest thing that comes out. That that's not worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Let me know down below and all that good stuff. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you guys next time for another one.